Welcome to the Stix, episode 12. We have a lot to cover, some bad, some good. Okay, so we're gonna start with the Sweet 16 Elite 8 recap. I wish we didn't, but we're here, unfortunately. Um, as you can see here, I know it's kind of hard to tell, but we'll just recap here. We'll start with the Sweet 16. I have to start talking about Carolina because, man, this is just phenomenal that Carolina gets bounced by Alabama, who I have been shit talking for
The
so
entire
long.
tournament.
Entire tournament. I've been shit talking this team. And Carolina should win the
Yeah.
game. Alabama didn't really win as much as Carolina lost it. Freaking Hillbilly Joe Grant Nelson cooked Carolina for like 24 points. And
hmm
Carolina couldn't hit a goddamn shot. The reason for this, Deja Kelly, if you know, you know, do not like you, Deja Kelly. She tweeted out after Caleb Love shot like one for a billion, the freaking like emoji. And then RJ Davis ended up shooting like one for a million himself. But can't get too mad. RJ Davis would have been without him, we wouldn't have been in this position. So that's all I can go. That's all I want to talk about there. It makes me sad.
He did
UConn,
also. RJ
mhm,
Davis also was named first team All American today.
yeah, not the greatest terms to be named American. This is some positive, whatever, whatever. UConn destroys Illinois. They go on what a 30-0 run to start the half? I think that's what it was.
Yes,
30-0
30
run.
nothing on.
Holy
UConn
moly.
is UConn has genuinely killed every team they played. There's not been a single close game. Every game's
No.
been by at
Now,
least 25.
the first half of every game was pretty close, but by the end,
Yeah,
it's wraps. Um,
yeah.
we got
UConn looks to be the heavy favorite. Purdue beats Tennessee in a close game. Very good game. All the way down to the wire, final score being 72-66. Zach Edey put up 40.
womp
Are
womp.
you kidding me?
He's
Uh,
so hard to stop when he catches the ball under the rim. I mean, when he
yeah.
catches the ball under the rim, it's pretty much a count 2 points or three, depending on if it gets
You,
and one.
yeah, I mean, you have to foul him there. Um,
And he gets calls.
and up in the South region, you see right behind me, Big Sexy. Um,
And you
NC
can see right
State,
behind me, Popolotsky over here.
NC State beats Marquette, upsets a 2 seed in the Sweet 16
Can we even
off
say
of
upsets?
fantastic play.
Can we even say upset? Because State
I
looked
mean,
good, and I wouldn't even say State looked phenomenal there. Marquette just was horrible. Marquette played
yeah,
absolute garbage. Side
Marquette
of the
could not throw a pebble into the ocean, as Drew would say. Um,
yes, it was bad.
we and I don't want to say that Drew and I are psychic, but we
We
did
called this
say that Marquette
again.
was on fraud watch.
And
And then Drew
that they
said Houston was going to beat Duke, and I said Duke was going to win. And
well,
then
and my
I
and
honestly,
you have to mention that Jamal Shea gets hurt at halftime, and without Jamal Shea
yeah,
getting hurt, Houston wins that game and possibly sends State home pack in the next round. But guess what? He does get hurt, and we'll never know.
all right. Moving on to the Elite Eight here, Duke and State end up playing each other. Um, Duke was up, I want to say 7 at halftime.
Yeah,
State could not make a shot in that first half.
no, I think
Granted, neither could Duke, but
it was like
it was
9 for 33.
27-21. Yeah,
Yeah,
it
they
was
shot
like
like nine
27
for
to
33. It
21.
was bad.
And then all of a sudden in that second half, NC State comes out, makes 10 for 10 straight in the second half from inside the arc. We got our three ball to start falling, and Duke
Like
had
that
zero
guy right
answers.
there.
They were like,
That
"Yep,
guy right there freaking killed this dude right here. To
look at Big Sexy."
so much for a lottery pick, am I right? Like
Yeah, he
seriously.
gets killed by a sixth year senior. Now, granted,
Yeah,
DJ Burns has been killing absolutely everyone in this
everybody.
tournament.
Yeah,
Um,
which to me phenomenal.
I believe Duke was like 15 minutes into the second half, and they had like five makes.
Yeah,
I don't know.
they couldn't. But
Either way,
Jared McCain looks pretty good if there was anybody. Yeah,
yeah,
you gotta feel bad for the kid. I mean, he's a freshman starting on a top team in the country, and
yeah,
I don't know. He might come back. We'll have to see. I personally think that it's best for him. If I feel like he should, however, because he's projected right now as like the 22nd pick. So I feel like he to rise his draft stock, he should come back to Duke. Of course, I would love to see
yeah.
him leave. I mean, I don't want him to play Carolina again.
I
But
mean, Jeremy Cade's really good.
you also have to talk about how this draft class is kind of weak. But that's NBA
Yeah,
talk, not NCAA.
yeah.
Which
Jared McCain finishes with 32 points,
32
which is
points,
32, which is half of Duke's score,
which
and DJ
12
Burns right behind him with 31.
12 wait, I will we I think it's fair to note that 12 of those points were garbage time points when he just was banging threes trying to keep Duke in the game. I
Yeah,
mean, the
and
game
then
was far out of reach.
yeah, and the other half of those points are from the free throw line. There was a point where Jeremy Kane had like 20 points off of three makes.
Yeah, it was wild
Yeah,
stuff.
and another thing I want to point on: what does Tyrese Proctor even do?
Nothing.
0 for 9. I think 4 rebounds and an assist, 0 points to finish the game. He was
He'll
out there
definitely
forever.
he'll definitely be back next year. He's not the thing is that being unbiased, he's not a bad player. It's just that he he kind of just sucked. It is what it
Yeah,
is. You
he had
honestly
open
love to see
shots and
it.
he just missed everything.
He missed
Um,
everything.
and with this NC State Cinderella run, which I saw something earlier today actually. Would you say that NC State, being the Cinderella this year, would you say that NC State is the team that invented the Cinderella?
I think it's certainly possible. I definitely think that this NC State team has had the greatest run and that college basketball has ever seen because all these Cinderellas, they are group of five schools that that win their
That
conference
are good.
tournament that when they
Yeah,
win their conference tournament on runs. But this state team was 0-4 to
was
start
like bottom.
to start this month. I mean, they were bottom of the barrel. They had a day one ACC champion or ACC game, and they have now won what 9 straight
Nine
games,
straight.
9 straight games in
All
the month of
9 straight
March.
elimination games. 9 straight elimination
Yes,
games.
9 straight elimination games, and that
And
is probably the hottest, biggest Cinderella run that college basketball has ever seen.
yeah,
And you know me, I'm a Carolina fan, and so I'm not the biggest state fan, but I mean, you got to give them their credit. They're playing
yeah,
they're playing hot team basketball. I mean, we said this all basketball
yeah,
season that this state team when they're on their A game is very hard to beat, and you're seeing it now.
yeah.
They're showing it to you now, and it's not like they've played bad teams. They have played talented squads like Marquette, and even though I don't want to admit it, Duke. Um, so I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy to see,
Yeah,
and as many state fans say, it feels like it was at 86,
83. Feels like 83.
83, 83. I knew that. Carolina won 82.
Yep. And this is gonna set up a NC State versus Purdue, a DJ Burns versus Zach Edey Final Four matchup,
Hold
which
the
I will say,
phone, buddy. Hold the phone, buddy. We'll get there in a
what?
second. We'll get there in a second,
Oh,
buddy.
okay.
We'll get there in a second. Moving on to the Final Four.
Oh my God.
It's very noted that we've already talked about this state team, but I just wanted to move on to this graphic before we started talking about the Final Four matchup.
This is gonna set up absolute cinema
Mm-hmm.
of April basketball. Of April
Mm-hmm.
basketball. Absolute cinema of big boy, big sexy sitting right behind me with these red shades on, DJ Burns versus Zach Edey. This matchup will feed families for centuries, okay?
Mhm.
That's not a diss on DJ Burns or Zach Edey. I know they're very big, but okay. Um, now, do I personally think that this is going to be a good matchup? No. But has any of the matchups that NC State has played so far made a whole lot of sense?
Nope.
No. Um, I believe that if NC State can shut down Purdue's three ball, then we might be in pretty good shape, which we have seemed to do pretty good at against Marquette and against Duke, even Texas Tech. The only team that really gave us trouble is Jack Golke in Oakland. And that's
And
real. They're the only team that kept it close, the only team that um, took us to overtime. Every other game we kind of like ran away with. Um, so I'm really excited to see uh, DJ Burns, big sexy, go against 7'4", big behemoth free throw merchant Zach Edey. But uh, touching on that free throw merchant kind of thing, I believe he's the sixth person to ever shoot 400 plus free throws in a college basketball season.
which
Um,
that's like he has those refs on a leash, and that's a huge storyline for this game
that was
is
a huge storyline. Even in the Big Ten, everyone's like, oh, he's not going to have those Big Ten refs to help him out. But I just think once like if you're 7'4", you're
you're
like
so
trying to
physical.
guard Shaq. You're trying to guard Shaq in the paint there. You're just it's
Yeah.
just hack a Shaq. You're just
Yeah, I
hoping he
mean
doesn't make his free throws.
you have to which he is a good free throw shooter. I
Mm-hmm.
think I think that it's gonna be really, really hard. It's gonna be really, really crucial for the guys like Diarra and Burns and even Middlebrooks to stay out of foul trouble. Although we would love to see Ernest Ross. Keith, so you listening?
I was
We
gonna
want to see
say
we want to see Ernest Ross. We want to see Ernest Ross.
we might get to see some Ernest Ross gameplay.
Um, but no, they as I mean, stories came out yesterday that Burns has already been charged with two fouls before the game has even started. I mean, they
Okay. That's crazy. But even crazier is those NFL GMs looking at DJ Burns.
no,
Literal
they
NFL GMs are looking at him.
he's good with his feet. He's a big boy. I mean, get put him on some conditioning training. I think he'd be a pretty good guard for the Panthers. I mean, it can't get much worse. Yeah. I mean, what have we got to lose? He can either go to my team or Aiden's team, the Patriots. I mean, what have we got to lose? Our team's crap anyway. Um,
Yeah,
but
they both suck.
but no. I think Purdue is gonna if Edie can't score, which I mean he's gonna get buckets. Another big thing that if they're scoring is they're shooting from their guards. But as we have also said all off season long or all postseason long, I should say State has good defensive guards. They have very good defensive guards. Casey Morcell,
They're both here.
very good defender. I know Jaden Taylor, very good defender, and even DJ Horn's a pretty good defender himself. So
Hmm.
it's gonna be rough for these guards from Purdue to be able to shoot. I mean, you saw Jared McCain and Jared Roach, uh, or Jeremy Roach, sorry, and Tyrese Proctor, all of their shots were contested shots. They couldn't get open shots really. So I'm really excited to see State's guards. And that's like like Aiden said, gonna need to be the storyline of the game because DJ Burns, I don't think is gonna be able to get to the bucket as much as he's gonna want to in this game because he can't handle Edie. However,
He does
however,
have touch.
it should be very known that Edie is very, very flat on his feet. He is not a very good. I mean, I don't think he can switch that well. So DJ Burns could very well hit him with a spin move and get past him. Maybe
Yeah,
Edie gets in foul trouble. So this, I don't think stylistically, State matches well with Purdue, but I think that it is. But I don't think that State really stylistically matched up with any team this offseason or this postseason. So
yeah,
you never know. It's freaking March. Anything can happen.
yeah.
And I think I didn't include the other Final Four game in my slideshow here because I don't think it's very needed to be talked about. I think UConn destroys Alabama.
Yeah,
The only thing that matters is their defense.
I would love to be proven wrong
I would, yeah, sure, I would love to prove them
with
wrong too.
UConn being the overall one seed in this tournament, but
Yeah, but if Alabama, but who
they've
knows if
been
Alabama
killing
has
their
been, if
team.
Alabama shoots like they've been shooting, we don't
Hmm.
know. Alabama can shoot the freaking lights out of the ball. They have offense. It's just the defense. The defense has stepped up a little bit. They've gone. I mean, I can't say this because I'm a Carolina fan, but I will say it regardless. Their defense has upgraded from a middle school defense to a high school defense. So we'll see what how Alabama does. I just don't think it's gonna happen. Uh, and ending it off a little. I do want to talk a little bit about MLB. Um, at the same time, I don't because they had opening weekend this weekend, and my Mets they went 0-3 against the Brew Crew. And they lost to the Tigers yesterday, allowing 5 runs in the 10th inning. It was 0-0. This team
Yeah.
sucks. I mean, they suck really, really, really bad, and I don't like watching games, but but shitty team seems to be just a theme for me. All my teams are poverty. Uh, and then the Red Sox. I I don't think either of us have really even tuned in to Red Sox games, but it should be well noted that they are what 3-3,
3-2.
3-2 against. I know they play
Hmm.
the Mariners, but who else do they play?
Um, like a 4 game series against the Mariners, and we beat the A's 9-0 yesterday.
Oh, the A's, yeah, the A's.
Yeah.
I would hope that would end in a win.
Yeah, I hope so too. We have 2 more games against the A's in this series, so hopefully we sweep that.
That's freaking suck. Well,
Also, another thing to be noted. This man pictured right here, Tyler O'Neill, his 5th straight opening day with a home run. It's just a
that's crazy.
little extra grain of
Is
salt
that
right
a
there.
record or just like a stat to be noted?
I think it's just a stat, I believe. Tyler
Still an insane
O'Neill.
stat. Tyler O'Neill kind of just.
Oh, it is the record. It is a record-setting
Oh
fifth straight opening
wow.
day.
Wow.
And Tyler O'Neill hits his record-setting 5th straight opening day home run. And I've seen a lot of things in the off season and more coming up towards the baseball season that every time a Cardinals player leaves, um, they become crazy,
Mhm.
insane, if you will.
Yes.
And after this statistic came out, I went to the comments and they were like, Tyler O'Neill is going to mess around and win the MVP. So don't call me psychic. Don't call us psychic, but it has happened before.
Yeah, it
We
has.
have called something crazy like state to the final four.
And I think that is a perfect transition to mark the end of this episode. We appreciate y'all watching the Stix episode 12. Tune in next Thursday at 5 p.m. to see episode 13. Peace.